I'm Zakiyah Ansari. I'm the Advocacy Director for the Alliance for Quality Education. I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming out and supporting. Like, this is really overwhelming to see the faces, familiar faces, people who have been in this struggle even longer than I have. But it's also important to acknowledge those who help us get to where we are. And so I'm excited about the evening. I'm excited about the support. And I'm excited to have helpers like these two young gentlemen here to help me get through this. So I want to acknowledge or give shout outs as Billy started. I'll say shout outs because Billy's so cool. My understanding is that Adolfo Carrion is in the building. Am I right? Okay. And we have a representative from the mayor's office, Christine Marinoni. Where you at, Christine? Okay, she's here. They're here. So I have the privilege and the honor this evening to bring up our next honoree in a second, Randy Weingarten. But before I kind of talk about her just a bit, I just want to acknowledge, right, that the work that AQE does is transformative work, right? It's a labor of love, but it's transformative. We elevate the voices of parents and students in very many of those communities whose voices no one wants to hear. And we give them and arm them with the training, the data, and the knowledge connected to their passion and what they know and experience in their particular districts or communities, and they run with it. And you can ask many of the legislators that sit here, when they come up to Albany to advocate, they are the fiercest, the baddest parents and young people and community members from around the state, not just New York City, that you will ever come across. And when you do this for life. When you get and you understand the power that you hold and that the folks that you elect work for you, right? And that it is your obligation, it is their obligation, they are supposed to listen to what you say, right? And so when you do that, I've just seen some amazing things happening around this state. So when I say transformative, real quick, so well, not only do we raise our voices, but we can shut down the Capitol too, right? We can take it over and spend the night. How many people have been to Albany? We participate in civil disobedience. Anybody ever been arrested? Okay. We make that $1 million staircase in Albany look like $1 billion when we stand there on every step and we chant from whose schools, our schools, to don't code our budgets, or Governor 1%, who do you really represent? Right? Those steps never look the same again after we're on them, right? We have young people from other parts of the state that can organize and deliver 10,000 petitions to the door of the governor's office. No fear in their hearts at all. No fear. Our young people have no fear. We train parents how to advocate, and we elevate and have them acknowledge the importance of their stories, because nobody can tell that story. Nobody can share that experience like you can share that experience. And at the same time, nobody can negate that experience because it's yours. And it's yours. And unless those elected officials are there at the time that you're talking about this, they can't say anything, right? And we proudly, with no apologies, acknowledge that we fight every day to ensure that our public schools are equitably funded, and that we are focusing on the majority of the children in our system, because all children will rise if we do that, right? But we can't do it alone, which brings me to the next piece, right? It's not only parents and community members, right? It's labor. I'm clear on the importance. I wasn't clear on it early on. I am clear on the importance of ensuring that the labor in itself, not just the teachers union, but labor in itself is living and growing in this country. And the reason I'm confident of that is because of the support that we have received, the work standing side by side that we have received from not only the teachers union, but other parts of labor, that we could not and would not receive from the 1%ers who are trying to privatize our system. And if they were not around, whether it's financially or within body or within ads, or however they use their power, I can only imagine where we would be. So as I stand here, my connection to Randy is, Randy has been a staunch supporter of parent, community, youth organizing, right? And understands and gets that. So rather, she invited us as the Coalition for Educational Justice in a few years ago when they were negotiating their contract when she was the president here of the UFT. Invited parents and young people to the table. Like, I'd never been involved in negotiations before. Hours in the room, going back, is this good? Do y'all want this? And we were negotiating to get money from the previous administration to ensure that 51 of the lowest performing middle schools got the money they needed to begin to change and shift what was happening, right? She brought us into that room. She didn't have to do that. So that was when she was president of the UFT here. So she's kind of made that bridge on a national level. But fortunately, her passion and commitment to parent, community, youth engagement just grew, right? And so she went national and continued to walk the walk, right? How many times have we seen people talk about something and they just don't walk the walk? So she's brought us together on a national level. So Alliance to Reclaim Our Schools, right? Many folks don't know about it, but I want you to remember that name, because sometimes the names sound good, but the agenda is not, right? We have a lot of that. So a Alliance to Reclaim Our Schools, when you hear that word, those words, know that there's good people, hardworking, grassroots, organizing youth, parents, and others from around the country, organizing with local labor, teachers unions, and others to ensure that public schools, that we reclaim the promise of public education, right? And so that's a really important piece. Our collective mission is to ensure that we create the public schools that we know we want to see and how they should be, not how they are now, right? And so if we can get behind the fact that we believe in public education, which I think is Randy's goal with Arrows, then we can get behind the fact that we want to see it change. And I think everybody wants to see the transformation. So I stand up here and I want to bring up Randy Weingarten, who has been the champion and a longtime supporter and has walked the walk in regards to really engaging parents, youth, and community members in this fight for educational justice.